Grand Theft Auto 6 is set to release on November 19th, 2026, and there is something strange about that exact date. November 19th is the same day another game was once supposed to come out, before it slipped, Cyberpunk 2077. The same game that arrived so broken that Sony did something it had never done before in its history. It pulled the game from its own store and gave everyone their money back. Now, with less than 4 months to go until the most anticipated game in the world, thousands of people are asking the same handful of questions. Why has Rockstar still not shown a single second of real gameplay? Will this game even run at 60 frames per second on a normal PlayStation 5 or not? And why has Rockstar gone completely silent on that one number? There is also a theory that keeps repeating, and let me say up front, this is only a guess, that Rockstar, out of fear of a Cyberpunk-style disaster, is deliberately hiding the gameplay. Stay with us to the end of this video, because we're going to get to every one of these questions. Quick thing before we go deeper. This channel lives and breathes Grand Theft Auto 6. Every leak, every trailer, all the way to launch day. Subscribe so you don't miss what comes next, and drop a like to push this to more people counting down with you. Now, back to it. Start with the theory, because it's the one that will not go away. This next part is speculation, a fan theory, not a confirmed fact. The idea goes like this. Cyberpunk 2077 was delayed again and again. Every time, the studio promised it was almost ready. When it finally launched in December of 2020, it ran so badly on the older consoles that the frame rate collapsed, sometimes dropping below 20 frames per second. Sony removed it from the PlayStation Store and refunded buyers, something it had essentially never done for a major release. The developers publicly apologized within days. So, the theory some viewers push is that Rockstar watched all of that happen and learned one lesson. Never let the public see the game running until it is genuinely ready, because a bad first impression on frame rate can sink a launch. Again, nobody at Rockstar has said this. It is a guess. But it's a guess that explains the silence unusually well, and that's exactly why it spreads. Then there's the number Rockstar refuses to say out loud, the frame rate. As of now, the company has stayed completely silent on how many frames per second the game will run at. Nothing in the marketing, nothing on the pre-order pages, no official statement at all. And into that silence, the analysts have stepped. The technical team at Digital Foundry, who study this for a living, doubt the game will hold a stable 60 frames per second on the standard PlayStation 5, or even on the more powerful PS5 Pro, because the Pro uses essentially the same processor. A former Rockstar animator has said plainly, he expects the game locked at 30 frames per second at launch. One prominent insider claims a 60 frames mode is in development, but might only arrive in an update after release, and admits Rockstar has not confirmed it internally for day one. None of that is official. All of it exists only because the studio left the question wide open. Here's where people get confused, and it's a fair point one of my own viewers made in the comments. After the second trailer, Rockstar said the footage was captured entirely in-game, running on a PlayStation 5. On paper, that sounds like an answer, but captured in-game and actual gameplay are not the same claim. A trailer captured in-game can still be built from short, hand-picked clips, cut at the speed of a music video, with the heads-up display removed, the menus hidden, and the camera guided by an editor instead of a player. What it does not show is sustained, uncut play. A mission from start to finish, the map and the inventory open, the on-screen controls visible, the game reacting to a person holding the pad. Nobody outside Rockstar has watched Grand Theft Auto 6 actually being played. The public has seen what it can look like. It has not seen how it plays, or how steadily it runs while doing it. And there's an irony sitting underneath all of this. The most detailed look anyone outside the studio has ever had at Grand Theft Auto 6 being played did not come from a trailer. It came from the 2022 leak, when a teenage hacker broke into Rockstar and posted more than 90 clips of raw development footage online. That material was rough, full of debugging text and placeholder menus. But it was genuine, unpolished gameplay, the camera following characters through half-built missions. Rockstar spent enormous effort scrubbing it from the internet. So, years later, the closest thing to real gameplay that exists in the open is footage the studio never wanted seen, taken by someone now facing a criminal retrial. Everything Rockstar has released on its own terms has been a trailer. To be fair, Rockstar has not shown nothing. The first trailer arrived in December of 2023, pulled in 93 million views in a single day, and set 3 Guinness World Records, including the most watched video game trailer ever made. The second dropped without warning in May of 2025 and went further still, becoming, at the time, the biggest video launch in the history of the internet, with 475 million views in 24 hours. Both are extraordinary to look at. But that's the whole tension. 2 of the most watched videos ever made, and still not 1 minute of the thing a player actually holds in their hands. There's a calmer explanation though, and it deserves to be taken seriously. This is simply how Rockstar operates. Look at Red Dead Redemption 2. Rockstar announced it in October of 2016, then showed almost nothing for nearly 2 years. The first real gameplay trailer didn't appear until August of 2018. By that measure, a first gameplay reveal for Grand Theft Auto 6 arriving in late summer, only weeks before a November release, would not be alarming. It would be Rockstar running its usual playbook. And the frame rate worry has history that cuts both ways. Rockstar has never shipped a major console game at 60 frames per second. Grand Theft Auto 5 launched at 30 back in 2013. And only gained a 60 frames option nearly 9 years later. Red Dead Redemption 2 ran at 30 on the consoles of its day and still launched looking almost exactly like its trailers. For Rockstar, 30 frames per second is not the mark of a broken game. It's the standard they've always shipped. So the honest answer sits between the two camps. The people saying something is off are right, that this silence is unusual by the standards of the wider industry, where a game this close would normally be showing extended gameplay already. And the people saying to relax are right, that it's completely normal by the standards of Rockstar, a studio that guards its work harder than almost anyone, with extra reason to, since its next game was first shown to the world through a hack. The one gap that's genuinely hard to defend is the frame rate. A studio can keep its mechanics hidden for the sake of marketing. Staying silent on how the game will actually perform, this close to release, tells players less than they're owed. That answer, along with the first true look at the game being played, is expected within weeks. Until it arrives, the one thing anyone outside Rockstar can say for certain is this: the most anticipated game in the world is almost here, and the world still hasn't seen it move. So where does that leave us? Back at that strange coincidence we started with, November 19th, the same date Cyberpunk was once meant to launch, before it slipped and became the warning every studio now remembers. And maybe that's all it is, a coincidence. Or maybe, as some viewers believe, and again, this is only a guess, it's the whole reason Rockstar has kept us in the dark, waiting until the game is ready to be seen instead of ready to be judged. What we know for certain is smaller and sharper, and the only genuine look anyone's ever had at the game being played was stolen, not shown. Every one of those is a choice Rockstar made. The counter-argument is real too. This is exactly how they handled Red Dead Redemption 2, right up until the gameplay landed weeks before launch and proved the doubters wrong. So the honest answer is that we're about to find out. The first true look at Grand Theft Auto 6 being played is expected within weeks. And when it drops, it will either quiet every worry in one trailer or confirm the fears people have been sitting on for years. Until then, the biggest game on the planet is almost here. And somehow, the world still hasn't seen it move. What do you think is really going on? Are they hiding something, or is this just Rockstar being Rockstar? Tell me in the comments. And if you want to be here the second that gameplay finally drops, subscribe, because we'll break it down frame by frame.